Okay, hello folks, and welcome to my Subnautica starting off video. Okay, so just to catch you up, I just finished crash landing in the life pod, and I skipped the cutscene for opening, which is why this is now completely full. Yeah, gonna pop out and get my bearings, and give you a little brief cover of the stuff that I personally think are some of the first few things you should be concerned with doing right around the beginning of the game. All right, so let's go up there and see where we're at. Beat it, Skyray.
The Aurora suffered orbital hull failure. Cause unknown. 0 human life signs detected.
Okay, so it looks, considering where I am, where the Aurora is, it looks to me like I'm quite a ways away from it. I might actually literally be on the other side of the safe shallows from the crash zone. Now, the nice thing about the game, there are a couple of fixed locations that you can use as landmarks if you want to find your way around without a compass. Now, the Aurora, for the most part, is kind of east-southeast from usually where you end up crash landing. So, like, I think directly back that way is almost direct east, but don't quote me, because it's been a while. But yeah, it's pretty big, it's hard to miss, and unless you go really far away, it's almost always on the horizon. And the ship is huge, and I mean massively huge. So that kind of is how I know that I'm probably a ways away, because it doesn't actually look that big from here, but when you get up close, it's enormous. So, fixed location number 2, which I think is north, pretty close to north, is what the weapon platform island, also the mountains region. You can see this cloud bank over in the distance here that doesn't seem to be moving with the rest of the clouds. That's actually hiding an island, which is actually the rim of the crater. And then there's another cloud bank over this way, which I think is south. Way south. And you can see it over there, way in the distance. That is the floating island, and it sits over top of the Grand Reef and kind of on the edge of the underwater islands biomes. And once again, you know, the clouds don't move, so they're always over there. You can always see them. And I think it's mostly almost due south. Backwards. I'd have to look at my map again. But yeah, they're over there. Fixed locations from when you're standing on top of your life pod. Now you have kind of a vague idea where stuff is. And like I said, this is mostly kind of primarily east, southeast, I think. Anyway, so one of the first things you should probably work on making is your scanner tool. Use your fabricator here, and it's down here amongst personal and equipment. Oops, sorry. Correction, it's tools. There we go. So scanner requires a battery and titanium. Titanium you can find in limestone outcroppings, and you can also craft it from wreckage pieces, which I'll show you what that is in a second. The next thing you'll want is your repair tool and your survival knife. Survival knife you can use to make... eventually you'll need it to make the lead suit, which is the only way you're ever going to get close to the Aurora and the waters around it, especially after it explodes. Another thing you'll definitely want to work on is getting your standard oxygen tank and your fins, because, I mean, come on, you want to be able to swim faster, and you want to be able to stay underwater longer. Now, I'm also playing survival mode, so I've got to worry about my thirst and my hunger. Actually, there's some survival rations over here. Water. And some flares, which are actually good. Attracting certain predators. I wonder which predators. Oh, I bet you I know what that is. Yeah, bone sharks. Anyway, so I am going to craft my, I think called again, scanner tool. And get that done. Now, the scanner tool, I say it's important because you can use it to scan a whole mass of stuff And sometimes when you scan things, you'll actually learn stuff about those things, which might tell you whether or not they're useful. Now, to make a battery, you need acid mushrooms. 2 acid mushrooms and some copper, which you can also get out of limestone outcroppings, which, there's one right there. It's a nice little tutorial. We'll give you a little head start there.
Copper is an essential component of all powered equipment. Your probability of survival has just increased to unlikely, but plausible.
Okay, so that's that. So I now can technically make a battery. Give you a little brief rundown on the controls here. So I'm playing on PlayStation 5. Uses the same controller layout as PlayStation 4, so no big deal. To rise up like I just did, I held down L1. To just sink, I can hold R1. Moving forward and backward along whatever plane you're on, that's your left stick. And of course tilting to look up and down, which can also control your direction, is the right stick. And look, I call those farting whales, and because they're whales, and when you get too close to them, they do this. And it makes a farting noise, which I find funny. Okay, another thing I recommend personally, you don't have to do this, is you open up your PDA here, which is the giant center button, and move over to Beacon Manager. And I recommend changing the color of the life pod to something that stands out. Like blue against water, a little hard to see sometimes, especially the light blue. This color, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. Never actually seen a sore thumb stick out, so yeah, it's a weird phrase. Okay, so it looks like I'm on the edge of a red grass zone, so that's good. Pop back into this thing and make my scan. Oh wait, I have no titanium. Shoot. Titanium. It's supposed to be wreckage fragments. There's one right there. This is what do they call this? Metal salvage. And that will actually break down into 4 pieces of titanium, so that's actually quite useful. I can use that to make an air tank and my scanner. So that's a good start. Some materials. Turn it into titanium. 4 titanium right there. And make my oxygen tank. Well, unlock the high capacity oxygen tank blueprint, which requires a few more things. And now, do I have enough? I didn't make the battery yet, duh. Battery, there we go.
New blueprint acquired.
And scanner tool.
The scanner can be used to synthesize blueprints from salvage technology and to record alien biological data.
Cool. So, go. Nothing to scan there. But there's plenty to scan out here. Scan the acid mushroom. Now we know stuff about that. Coral shell plate. You get a lot of things that don't really actually have any practical use, but they can be decorative. Sometimes you can't do anything with them at all. Anything. Sea glide fragment. Perfect. Right. Awesome sauce. This thing's brain curls are awesome because if you hover over them, they actually put out oxygen bubbles, which your oxygen tank can absorb. There we go, see? Slowly refills it, although it's not perfect. Dark. Okay. Survival mode, I gotta worry about being hungry, I gotta worry about being thirsty, so I'm gonna grab a fish.
New creature discovered.
Grab you. Oh, you closed your eye, you little bastard.
New creature discovered. Alien life forms. may have unexpected applications. Utilizing alien resources is a proven survival strategy.
Okay, now I can see again. Right, peeper. Come back here, I'm trying to grab you. Dill.
New creature discovered.
Here. Oh, it's so hard to play. Control on the console. There we go. Table coral. Scan the farting whale. Let's recharge my oxygen tank first. Okay, just got just enough up. Alright, I'm gonna scan you while you're sleeping. Now, the weird acid bubble things that those things drop are, you can use them to make torpedoes later. But, yeah, I'm not concerned with that right now. I almost never use torpedoes just because yeah. I found a whole fish. Sweet. Deeper face, scanny McScan. Oh, hey, what? Aw, you made all my fish swim away.
Seconds.
It's so freaking dark. Now here's a little piece of information. Swimming with a scanner tool or anything really in your hand
Calorie intake recommended.
will actually slow your swimming speed down a little bit. So, yeah. Want to keep that in mind if you're trying to get to the surface faster. Okay. So fish. Fish are good for food. So the bladderfish is good for making some water. It's not the best amount of water, but it's still better than nothing. So, and survival mode, you definitely need the water. So that's what I'm using. Also, you can eat them, and I think partially, like, put a little bit of oxygen back in your oxygen tank, so that's not a terrible thing.
The fabricator cooks small organisms while disposing of the skeletal structure, bodily fluids, and internal organs, thus rendering them safe for human consumption.
Okay, as I was saying, and I forgot already. Yeah, so like, per se, if you happen to have a bladderfish in your inventory and you're about to run out of air, you still need a little bit more time to get to the surface, you eat one of those things and you might have just enough to get to the surface. So that's definitely helpful. Now, something to be concerned with, cooked food does not keep. But, whoops, wrong button. Cooked food doesn't keep, so once you've cooked these things, they'll stay good for a while, and then
vital signs
they will expire. But there is a preserved food, namely using salt you find, and you can preserve it. The only problem is, like it says here, salting is given. It dehydrates you a little bit, basically, but it'll keep a heck of a lot longer, if not indefinitely. So there's definitely a bonus there. Air bladder, that's useful, but not as useful in this game. No, you can actually, and okay, on this, you can actually, the data bank, you can actually read up on stuff, so. Life forms, coral, brain coral, a permanent, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so you can find out useful information there. Anyway, I'm going to try to make my knife now. Scan the bladder fish. Oh, I haven't scanned the whole fish yet. And there's Gary fish I need to scan too. Is that a Gary fish? No, that's a whole fish. Yeah. Shit, I lost it. Well, that just sucks. Small. Okay, let's go scan that.
Detecting increased local radiation levels. Trend is consistent with damage to the Aurora's drive core, sustained during planet fall.
Gotcha. Okay. What is this? Another sea glide frame. Perfect. Well, that thing's useful because you can get around a hell of a lot faster with that. Back to the surface here.
Oxygen.
Fucking goddamn it. Dang. Back of them. Oh well. Probably why they survive. They're just hard to see. Anyway, let's go find something else. That for later. Right, kelp forest over there. Oh yeah, this thing. Hey, get over here. Okay. So, believe it or not, this is a coral. A massive, huge coral. Anyway, what was I going to do? I was here and get my knife. Scary noise. God, I hate those things. They will attack you, but you can actually bribe them, which is funny. Okay, so these not only make decent lighting for the front of your base, but are also good for making silicone.
Life on this planet grows in unusually distinct and diverse ecological biomes. Further study recommended.
See this whole fish I've got in my pocket here. If I hold this out, well, one of those shark things comes at me. It will eat the fish and leave me alone for a while, which is always great. Okay, so I got that. Oh, there's salt. Perfect. Look, another fish thing. Back, I want to scan you. I want to grab you.
Integrating new PDA
Still.
data.
Where'd he go? Here, what? Oh, there he is. Same one? That's a diseased one. Yeah, I don't want to grab that. Ah, whatever, I'll do it anyway.
New creature discovered.
Oh, it's a shadow I'm seeing. God damn. That's annoying. Now I can make my knife.
Consider disguising the flavor of unsavory meats with salt or locally sourced herbs and spices.
Yeah, totally will keep that in mind. Oh, I can make... Oops. Okay, first of all, I'm going to make my fins so I can swim a little faster.
Draws from available data to provide environment-appropriate equipment using locally available materials. For your safety, this setting cannot be overridden.
Sorry about that. Distracted. Alright. Knife. There we go. This is one way of getting stuff to stay away from you. It also lets you cut off table coral too, so that comes in handy. Anyway, so that's basic stuff. Got my fins, got my oxygen tank, which I'll build a second one of, because believe it or not, you can actually swap them out. You just gotta make sure they're filled up first. Watch this. Do this. I know this oxygen tank's full, so bang. Fill that one up, and now I have a reserve oxygen tank in case I need it, which is smart. Anyway, I'm gonna save here, load this video, and yeah, we'll do up another one in a little bit.